The must
This
win of
is must
wins.
win. You can't lose this game.
Hello world and welcome back to Gridiron Gamble, the only podcast that puts its money where its mouth is. I'm your host, Rich Ron, and I'm joined by the entire collective, the Disciple, Brett Colson, Donnie, DP Peters, and the resident moose himself, Mo Nuwara. Nobody on holiday, nobody at a wedding, nobody in another country. The core four is back together. Brett, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I'm on holiday. But I'm home right now.
Staycation life.
It is.
Wow.
It is a holiday weekend for the collective. We will be in person all together, enjoying several adult beverages and watching a game that was supposed to be a lot better than this Rams and Buccaneers here in the great state of Florida. We all head there tomorrow. Should be a good time. But before we do that, we got to get our week 9 card in. Coming off of a 4-1 week, we are 24-16 in Circa Sports Million. Let's just stack together some 4-1, sneak a 5-0 in there, and before you know it, we'll have a sweat in this thing. Before we get going, though, if you're watching, please ring that bell, subscribe to the Lines US YouTube page, give us a like, give us a comment below. Best comment of the year last week. I don't know how anybody sits through all of this, buddy. I've been doing it since 2015, so you can sit through it too. Subscribe to your favorite podcatcher of choice. All you podcast listeners out there, 5 stars on the review, please. As always, we start each week in the split game segment. And as always, I forget to, one, shout out and give love to our patrons, patreon.com/Gridiron Gamble, who will be listening live in just a moment.
That's 3 weeks in a row.
I know. I keep moosing them. There's just so much going on. I just picked up our buddy Jan. He just flew from the Czech Republic here to enjoy our GG weekend with us. Yeah, he did. He brought an entire suitcase of beer from the Czech Republic.
It's going to be filled with an entire suitcase of peanut butter on the way back.
That's right. And ice cream, if he can find a way to not make it melt. Split games, we always kick things off. Not a lot of opinions in this week's game, save for one. One game has 2 strong opinions, and they're on opposing sides, and it's Chargers at Falcons. The Chargers are 3-point favorites, traveling to Atlanta in this game, in a very interesting spot for Los Angeles, who are coming off the bye, but don't seem to be as healthy as they would like to be. Mike Williams will, of course, miss this game once again, but Keenan Allen also has not practiced. But that did not deter Mo Nuwara from laying the points with Herbert. You were shaking your head. I was worried that maybe you clicked the wrong thing and submitted the wrong pick, but
Definitely not.
Yeah, you're running to the window to fire against this Falcons team. Talk about it.
Yeah, the Falcons aren't good. What, I have these teams like 20 spots apart in power rankings. The
Chargers are good?
Yeah, they're still good. This is Justin Herbert for 400, reminding everyone that he's a great quarterback, and the Falcons have no DBs. They have no DBs.
So
I don't care.
Josh Palmer has to be rostered in every single league on the planet then.
Why not?
Gerald Everett for 200 yards.
Because Josh Palmer's going to have 200 receiving yards.
That's a good one. Fire Gerald Everett prop over. It's going to be 28.5 or something. Yeah, this is just an awful Falcons defense that got punked by PJ Walker. What are they going to do against the Chargers? They're going to get wrecked.
I mean, isn't PJ Walker the BTT GOAT? And didn't he have the longest completion?
Can we talk about that game later? Maybe we're going to have to, I hope.
Aren't you the XFL guy, Brett? Yeah. I feel like we have to defer to you on all things PJ Walker.
Definitely not the XFL guy. Where do you get that from?
I don't know. By the way, I didn't mention it. Wearing the Mets hat. Mo was wearing some idiotic Phillies beanie on the opening lines. You really called
me out like this?
100%. You're a Braves fan, and you were wearing a beanie of the 3rd best team in the NL East.
Yeah, I blew it. I'm supposed to be wearing it right now. I'm going to have to wear it an extra podcast after.
Oh, is this a bet you lost?
I lost to Steven.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be wearing it right now, and I forgot to bring it with me.
Steven, this is the New York Metropolitans' best team in the NL East, but got moosed because playoffs are dumb, honestly. As dumb as it gets. But back to this game. Who is the strong opinion now? Oh, it is Brett.
Me.
Brett loves... Not rah, rah, rah. I guess a really angry Falcon might make that sound. He loves the Falcons. They're in his top 5, the Disciple and the Moose going at it. Love to see it.
I don't know how you can lay points with this Chargers team right now. What even is this offense? All they do is dump off to Austin Eckler. And Eckler, is he going to play this week? He's questionable now. But this team's 20th in yards per play, 28th yards per pass. This looks nothing like the imposing, flashy offense we expected from Herbert and company this season. Now they don't have Keenan Allen or Mike Williams. I can't lay points with this team on the road. I just can't. Meanwhile, their defense hasn't been good either. It's been a disaster since Bosa left.
It's better than what the Falcons are rolling out there.
Of course, but Falcons are getting points at home.
It's 3, not 6.5.
I don't think the Chargers are good right now. And I like the way this sets up for the Falcons too. This is a team that loves to run the football, and the Chargers can't stop anything on the ground. You got a team in the Falcons that operate at one of the lowest or the slowest neutral pace in the league, and I think they're going to just take the Chargers out of their rhythm. So I like the Falcons here. Money bet line, I think.
Ooh. Mo's disgusted.
Sounds like you got a chance
stink.
to earn your pizza back.
I just love how every year, it's been the same since we started this podcast. Every year, Brett comes into the season, high as all hell on the Chargers. We try and tell him it's the stupid Chargers. Halfway through the season, they suck. Every year, same rinse and repeat.
I guess it's all predictive now. I mean, this is just predictive with the Chargers. It just has to be.
Manifesting.
Chargers are always going to Charger, man. Every season.
I'm manifesting so hard. For those who don't know what I'm referencing, I've been trying to do my best Gisele Bündchen voodoo witchcraft magic so that the Chargers have the worst season ever, and Herbert somehow lands on my fighting Jets. Jets.
That's not
Next split game. Brett, we're going to keep it with you because you have the highest opinion on a double sounder game. Double roar. 2 cats going at it. Panthers at Bengals. The Bengals are 7.5 point favorites in the contest. Look ahead was 8.5. Opened right on the key number of 7, but then money came in on Cincy to push it back to 7.5. And you like the home team that just looked awful in front of the nation in prime time in your top 5. Talk about it.
They did look awful, but I don't think that Monday night loss was as much about not having Jamar Chase as it was about the Browns, and specifically Myles Garrett, just his dominance at the line of scrimmage. Burrow had no time to do anything in that game. And Carolina, yeah, they have Brian Burns, but they still can't generate pressure unless they bring more than 4. Even then, they're 22nd in overall pressure rate, 29th in sacks. I think Burrow's going to be able to do whatever he wants, pick this defense apart. And PJ Walker against this pass defense in negative script, I mean... Yeah, big time throws aside, he was bad last week. 18. If you take away that Hail Mary throw, 18 for 35 for 255, no scores and a pick 6. He's not good. And Mo, you are with me on this still, right?
I was just about to say, after dumping on PJ Walker, not only on this episode, but probably every time the man's name has escaped his mouth, Mo has the Panthers in this spot right in the middle of the fold. Mo, what's going on here?
Which pass defense was Brett worried about? Are there any professional corners left for Cincy? Have you seen...
You know it's bad when something Awuzie is missing and it's a problem.
That dude's good. What do you mean? He was locking people up last year. He's good. Listen, okay? Cam Taylor-Britt went to Nebraska. I've watched this guy for a long time. I watched him last week against the Browns. He got his ass royally kicked. Am I allowed to say ass?
Yes.
He got his ass royally kicked by professional receivers. He is not ready, okay? They drafted him in the second round. I think the projections I saw had him as like a 4th, 5th round pick. I don't know if he'll ever be ready. He definitely isn't ready right now, okay? He got wrecked by the Browns. And he's the starter now because let me see who else is out. I think Eli Apple might be out. Mike Hilton might be out. Trey Flowers might be out. None of these dudes has logged a single practice, I believe. We might be looking at XFL corners. What did PJ Walker do to XFL corners, guys?
Lyle Collins had a DNP non-injury designation, but then had a proper DNP today. So what the hell's going on there? And Brett, you said you don't think it's a Chase thing. I've really come around in believing that elite weapons really, really matter.
Well, of course he matters. Of course he does.
But matters like a lot. Like I think we should be capping elite targets almost as high as quarterbacks. If you were to draw a pie of offense, it's cut into 4 pieces, right? It's scheme, protection, quarterback, targets. And I honestly think the quarterback to targets ratio is getting closer and closer because of how talented these top end guys are. Chase is just a complete game changer with what he can do at the line of scrimmage, down the field. He's so different.
What if this offense is just bum without Chase? It looked bum.
It looked really bad.
7 dump-offs to Mixon, dude.
And
9.
I like T. Higgins.
9. He caught 7.
And I like T. Higgins, but T. Higgins, he's more like a big slot. Like he's elite at those big slot routes, but he just can't do the type of stuff that Chase can. So I don't think a point is enough of a change with this offense looking so porous. DP was very low on this game, so we'll move on to the final split contest, which features another double sounder remix, double bird sounder. In this instance, it is Seahawks at Cardinals. This is one of those games where I was licking my lips when we were going to get a field goal. All the disrespect on my guy, Geno Smith. And then the market moves and we don't get the value. And I still like the Seahawks, but we're not getting as juicy of a number. Mo doesn't care though. Mo is all in on my guy, Eugene. I think his middle name's Cyril Smith, the GOAT, CPOE GOAT. No one is more accurate at throwing footballs than Geno Smith. Mo, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for doing the damn thing.
This is going to remind me of another game we'll talk about later. Isn't it better for contest purposes?
For leverage,
Nobody is going to be on +2, are they? I don't know. Will they?
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I think everyone's going to be on the Seahawks.
Seattle
I clicked the Cardinals solely for a contest play.
Is it because why did everybody have the Cardinals last week? I was flabbergasted by that.
Yeah, that was weird.
I literally would have had the Vikings as my top play, but I thought they were going to be uber popular, and then Cardinals are just in the top 5.
Every fake sharp loved the Cardinals last week. Shows I was listening to, everybody. Cardinals can't be getting 3.5 against the Vikings. Maybe they can be. They stink. Look at these numbers. The Cardinals stink. They don't do anything well. What do they do well? The only thing they can do is throw to Nuck. That's it.
Well, yeah. That kind of matters, though.
The Seahawks have been playing better on D. Something Owusu. Every time Nowusu?
I was going to say, we're back on the Bengals game.
Every time Nowusu is on my screen, he's wrecking stuff, man.
Pete Carroll, man. I've said this a million times. I'll say it 1,000,001 times. The Legion of Boone were all mid-round picks, all right? I think Earl Thomas was the highest pick in the second round. Pete Carroll had a big hand in the success in that defense. And if he can get this defense to just average, the Seahawks are pretty good, man.
We just watched this game 2 weeks ago where the Seahawks crushed them. They wouldn't have scored a point if it wasn't for a blocked kick. A blocked kick was their only touchdown.
They didn't have Nuck, though.
That is a big difference.
What was Reds just saying about targets?
Elite weapons definitely matter. But, I mean, the Cardinals are favorites here, so they're getting at least enough respect from the market for, like Mo said, or was it Mo? What is this team good at? Like what can we point to on this team and say They're really good at that. DP, you're the highest on the Cardinals. Purely leverage contest?
Yeah. Literally my only notes say contest play. End of story.
Full stop. So the split games. Big contention in Panthers-Bengals between Brett and Mo. They were also squabbling a bit when it comes to Panthers-Bengals. And then the last split game, not a lot between Cardinals and Seahawks, although Mo really does like the Hawks. All right, time to defend our lone selections. Time for the Lone Wolves. Let's get spicy. We did way too good in Lone Wolves last week. Way too good. I want to say it was like 6-2, but somehow we found a way to go 4-1 on the card, which seems like a miracle. And we'll start this week. There are 2 Lone Wolves in collective top 5s, and we'll start with Donnie, who for the second time this season, spoiler alert, has a Lone Wolf as his top pick. Mo tried to veto that pick. He was unsuccessful.
Yeah, how'd that work?
Putting a loser on. So now Donnie has a free veto that he can use against Mo at any time with no repercussion. We will see if this pick stays on the card, because Donnie has put the blinders back on and is laying 5.5 points with the New England Patriots against something Sam Ehlinger and the Indianapolis Colts. What is WEEI saying, DP? You've got your finger on the pulse. Tell us what's going on.
I mean, this is pretty simple for me. Bill Belichick against what is, for all intents and purposes, a rookie quarterback. This is where Bill Belichick absolutely feasts. And yeah, it gives me more confidence that the Colts are just not good. Like, it'd be different if the Colts were quarterbacked by, again, all intents and purposes, a rookie. But had a pretty decent team. I think the Colts are pretty bad overall. And then I'm just kind of out on Frank Reich this year. I mean, I was high on him last year, but this year he just feels like he just doesn't have it for whatever reason. Could be just the team that he's putting out on the field. But yeah, this is a spot for me where Bill Belichick gets fat. He's absolutely going to destroy this quarterback. You see it every single week.
You forgot about the other trend with Bill Belichick, though. Well, you just brought up a trend of Bill Belichick versus young, inexperienced quarterbacks.
I'm also watching what I see with my eyes every single week. I see Bill Belichick go against an inexperienced quarterback. What did he do last week? What was your boy Zach doing? Throwing the ball all over the field to Patriots players.
Well, that's because I noted this on the recap podcast. Zach Wilson is literally the 145th quarterback of this millennium. Like, he's that bad. But what does Bill Belichick do against mobile quarterbacks? That is his Achilles heel. And something Sam Ehlinger was okay last week. Like, again, I watched way too much of this game because it was on the card. He had like 9 yards per attempt. He led the league in CPOE last week. It would have been, yes, Brett, yes, that is a thing that happened.
Yes.
Something sample size, something.
He was making, it was downfield throws. Like, he connected on a couple of downfield throws, and the way CPOE is calculated is down and distance is part of it, and then distance of throw is part of it. It's not like I thought it was next gen stats where proximity of defender was a part of the equation, but I think the primary inputs on the formula are down and distance of throw. The Patriots defense was really bad last week. The Discord saw me this morning put in a diarrhea vomit thread of Zach Wilson missed opportunities against the Pats. Guys streaking open, perfect rub route designs by LaFleur just not being executed. I think that's one of those things where it's not going to repeat. I think Belichick is going to see all that and whip these guys into shape coming into this week. They were missing key pieces last week. Looks like Duggar's going to go this week. I think Barmore's on track to play again.
According to you, Duggar's worth like 3 points. So
Duggar's a good player. Like, he's a chess piece. He can play linebacker. He can play safety. Man, I wanted to love the Colts, but I just couldn't do it. Brett did the right thing. Did the damn thing. Snuck them into his top 5, albeit at the bottom of your top 5, Brett. But you did it. You got the Colts right up there.
Well, yeah, because everyone's following that narrative. BB against rookie quarterbacks. It's everywhere. It's Donnie does listen to WEEI, obviously, because that's all. I'm sure that's all they're talking about. And yeah, I'm sure there is something to that. But what about Mac Jones and how awful Mac Jones has been this year? What about that?
What was it,
Like, how do you lay
3.5 yards per play last week?
It's so bad.
I
So how
thought
can you
Mac
lay
Jones was actually pretty good last week.
3.8.
That's
3.8. Give the man his credit.
That's
He was
embarrassing.
really-
He didn't
He
have
was
any
really good
offensive
at-
line help last week. He was hung out to dry. I think he was much better than his stats would let on to see. Or yeah.
What if I told you 3 offensive linemen might be out this week?
And what if I told you can't kick field goals to cover 5.5 in pro football? You got to get the ball in the end zone. And I don't know. Against the Colts
They
defense.
did last week.
Against a Colts.
I think it
well,
was 5 last week.
and Zach. I mean,
Yeah.
man alive. That guy. Market.
Market. Yeah, I think this line should be like 3.5 or 4.
Yeah,
So-
I think it should be a hair more than a field goal, but I think anything this size is a bit disrespectful. I've got a lone wolf in my top 5. I got to bust out a sounder. I'm surprised Brett's not with me because, as I said on last week's podcast, he is silver and through, blue and blue.
We did this, huh?
Of course I did it.
Why would you
What
do
is Mo-
this? This is
because
ridiculous.
what does Mo? No, it's not ridiculous. What does Mo pound the table and say week after week after week, unless it goes against his narrative? Passing offense, passing offense, passing offense.
Every
The Packers-
passing offense is elite against the Lions, though. Every single one.
I have to see it from the Packers. I have
the
to see
Packers
it.
can also literally run straight and never pass the ball in this game.
Nah, this is This is Motor City, professional pride. This is Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan Campbell,
Yeah,
great.
let's go. This is kneecap biting. By the way, why aren't the Lions going to score at will as well against this Packers team that was absolutely pathetic on Monday?
Against who?
What am I missing?
I mean, against the best team in the league. I mean, what are you drunk?
What am I missing here, guys?
The Packers defense is much better than the Lions defense, and you can't put much confidence in Jared Goff in this Lions offense. I mean, I just
Lions
think
offense-
Josh Allen had his worst game of the year on Monday night.
Dude, he
Lions-
should have
I
thrown
know he was
another pick.
throwing
He had
it.
another
He had
pick
the-
dropped.
He had the worst quarter and a half of his life. And we all know why.
But you
I don't know,
doubted
that
it.
looked
But you
deliberate
doubted
to me.
it.
I did doubt Pride Time alone. Isn't the Lions offense passing offense, pass offense? That's what I've been told. Isn't it miles better than the Packers?
Oh, they lost a pretty big weapon.
Is
In a
Hooking's
trade.
son a big weapon?
Yeah, he is.
what do you mean? Is he a big weapon?
I think Amon-Ra and DeAndre are by far the 1 and 2. And after that, like, why isn't something Khalif Raymond as important as Hooking's son in this offense?
Well, if a running back is your second most important piece in a passing
Dude.
offense, I think that has all you need to say. Okay.
I mean, hasn't that been Brady's offense for 20 years? Is dumping off to
All right,
James
well,
White?
Jared Goff is not Tom Brady.
You're right. He's better now in 2022.
What? Can we move on from this? Rich has lost his mind.
Brett loves.
Yeah, let me
Brett,
talk.
Brett
Rogers for 400.
Talk. Let me
Maybe.
To whom? No, to whom? This
Stop.
is the same.
It doesn't matter to whom. He's going to have a bazillion yards, or Aaron Jones is going to have 250. One or the other is going to happen, and they could both happen because this Detroit defense is that bad.
The way
The
you
Lions
guys are talking,
have the worst defense we've seen in 10 years.
the way you guys are talking makes me feel like the Packers are going to be the most popular pick in this contest by a country mile.
But it's 3.5.
No,
though.
because I think people hate it and they don't like the Packers.
I liked some of the things I saw from the Packers last week. They were patient. They stuck to what worked.
They were
in that
establishing down 20 points. Brett gets off the teams establishing down 20.
I mean, what else are they going to do? They would have played their way out of the game if they kept throwing every time.
Throw it to the Louvre. Whatever that. What's that guy from Heart of the Husker? What's that guy's name?
I don't even remember what that guy's name is.
Something.
Toure.
Yeah,
Something
Toure.
to it.
That's
He
right.
caught 1 of 4 targets. That is atrocious.
Well, that's one of the things with that's one of the things with this Packers offense though is that every week that Rodgers has with these guys, they're going to keep getting better. This passing offense will get better. And Dobbs actually looks like a legit downfield threat.
Dobbs is cool. Yeah, I think Dobbs is cool.
Like, people keep dumping on this Packers offense, but quietly now they're 8th in offense DVOA, 6th in offense success rate, they're 3rd in early down success rate. I don't know, this offense is kind of rounding into form. Even though they haven't won a game in ages, like, the pressure's on for this team. And this is a fantastic get-right spot against the worst defense in the league, like Mo said. So even at 3.5, I like Green Bay a lot here. And that hook, I think, will keep people away from them in the contest.
DP, you love the Packers as well in your top 5.
What? I've already argued with you and said everything I need to say. What else do you want me to say?
This is the game, guys.
Yeah, the game for Green Bay.
Everybody worried about something hooking Son, capping for hooking Son on this podcast.
Yeah, he's a good football player. He's not just a receiver. He's a good football player.
Moving on. Brett has 2 lone wolves, both below his fold. One barely below the fold. Miami and the Dolphins, the greatest football team. I almost clicked the Dolphins. I was very, 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 very close to clicking the Dolphins. And then I was just, I honestly, at a spur of a moment, I was like, I don't want to click the Dolphins. It was nothing other than, no, I'm not going to do it. What if the Bradley Chubb addition takes a little bit, right? This Dolphins secondary is still hurt, still no Byron Jones, can't generate any pressure. If Fields can do anything what he did against the Cowboys, the Bears can score some points. But Brett, I am terrified of, speaking of bad defenses, this is a Bears defense that was not great and now is without its 2 best
That's exactly what I wrote down. Like, what is this Bears defense that was already ranking near the bottom of the league in pass rush metrics? And in order to beat Miami, you absolutely have to get pressure on Tua. Otherwise, they're just going to pick you apart. And I just think this is a lousy matchup for the Bears on offense, too. I mean, Miami actually defends the run pretty well, and that's basically all the Bears do is run the football. So as much as I love to back Justin Fields, I'm with Mo there, but I just don't think this is the spot.
Mo, I got to bring you in because nobody had a very strong opinion on the Bears here, but Justin Fields is your guy. This is the ultimate barometer in professional pride. Are the Chicago Bears going to pack it up here in week 9, 1, 2, 3 Cancun, or are they going to show up and play football on Sunday?
Definitely not out. I could see some pack it up potential for sure. They trade their 2 best defenders. I mean, maybe everyone else just quits. I guess you're right. And just, if you bet Miami, just bet minus 10.5, right? I mean,
yeah,
they're just going to win.
This is definitely alt season.
38-14 if that's what happens. But man, I kind of thought this line was fair because their defense is so bad. Justin Fields was doing work against a good Dallas defense. Like, he was getting first downs, moving the offense consistently. That loss was not his fault, okay? The defense got absolutely embarrassed, but
well,
Justin
it kind of
Fields,
is his fault for jumping over Micah Parsons like an idiot and not touching him.
Justin Fields did his job, okay? And that was against a great defense. Dallas has a great defense, okay? Miami stinks. This defense is atrocious.
It was without Goat Claypool, too.
Goat Claypool. Wait, is he Goat? I don't
He's
know.
going to play like 10 snaps this
Dude,
week.
this Dolphins defense is so bad. I mean, Detroit was moving up and down the field on them, dude. They suck, okay? Adding Bradley Chubb ain't going to change that, I don't think. They need more than that.
It's not going to change it this week, but if the cavalry comes back in the secondary, if by Christmas, Howard and Byron Jones are the shutdown corners that we're used to seeing, Brett, I would be worried. I would be a little bit worried about the greatest football team.
I didn't like that trade for the Bills at all. That makes me a little nervous because that's the one thing really on defense that they don't have when they're fully healthy is a pass rush, and he gives that to them. So yeah, that makes me a little nervous, not going to lie.
They also have the first win against you, so tiebreaker importance will be coming up in upstate New York later.
I mean, I hope
in
it
the
doesn't come to
season.
that.
Brett's last lone wolf. We're gonna be there. Rams at Bucks. Brett, come on, man.
I don't know
It's
what these
over.
teams are. What are these two teams? Like,
No.
this is the last.
We know it. We know what the Rams are. A very bad football team with a very bad head coach, an old broken quarterback who's not surrounded by Hall of Fame players. That's the difference. He's got a slot merchant, but at least Brady has elite level talent around him. The protection up front, still a bit worrisome, but Brady's going to get it out. The Bucks, you say you were impressed by the Packers in a quasi blowout. I was kind of impressed by the Bucks in a quasi blowout against the Ravens.
They dominated the first half. The Ravens shouldn't have scored a point.
Yeah.
Dominated.
So this is telling me that the Bucks are only like a point better than the Rams traveling west to east. I don't know. I truly think the Rams are a broken team, and markets are not reflecting that this team is somewhere in the 20s and can't be rated higher than
I
that.
think you guys are right. I just didn't have the stones to do it. So
Mo and I had the stones to do it.
I love the Bucks.
I loved them last week, so my heart is broken.
Oh, this is the Mo does this. This is the spurned lover pick where you just pick the other side.
This is Brady at home for his career. His career is over if he doesn't win this game.
Wow. The must
This
win of
is must
wins.
win. You can't lose this game. At
I mean,
home for your
The way
career.
the way the NFC South's going, you could win the division at like 7-10 probably. But yeah, no, Mo, I'm with you. I think this is a great get right spot. Extra rest at home in the sun.
Extra
long
rest.
road trip. The
Other
Rams
team
are looking
traveling. Yes.
Rams
yes,
are looking up at a
yes.
division that they know they can't reach. A bunch of vets who got their ring already. Writing might be on the wall. And by the way, even if Cooper Kupp plays, the slot merchant himself, who's to say that like second quarter he gets hit because he has 10,000 targets and is limping off the field? Mo, I love all this nodding that I'm seeing.
Yes. What the only thing? Remember when I said earlier? The only thing Arizona can do is throw to Nuck. The only thing the Rams can do is throw to Cooper Kupp. That's the only thing they're good at. They're not good at anything else on offense, okay? Their defense, they can stop the run. Who cares? The Bucs can't run anyway. They're just going to throw to Mike Evans. It'll be fine. But on offense, the only thing they can do is throw to Cooper Kupp. And what if he's not 100%? What if he's not 100%?
He's definitely not going to be 100%.
If he's not 100%, then I fear for what's going to happen to this Rams offense. I do. This could be ugly, okay?
Donnie, you must love this. We're just
I
slurping
can't
all
wait.
over your
We're
boy
going to
Brady.
watch the GOAT get back to the top of the mountain live in person. It's going to be amazing.
Do you think there'll be a quarterback that only has 3 passes in this game? Because we saw that.
I will
last December.
always cherish the memory of that game. They can
It was
never
Mac
take that
Jones.
away from me.
Mac Jones's purple hands
There will
will
never
always
be
cherish.
another game like that. It was history.
No, we could go to
No,
8 games a year for 50 years and we'll never watch another game like that.
Oh man, DP, or excuse me, Mo, we'll go to you for your sole lone wolf below the fold, laying wood on the road. Kirk Cousins coming home to Washington to play the Commies. DP, not a fan of this pick. I can tell from the reaction. Mo, lead us off. Why are you laying points with the Vikings in this spot?
You like that?
I don't like that.
Neither does Gator.
Neither does Gator. Gator thinks it's garbage.
Circled. This is the circled revenge game.
Who has circled it more though? Schneider and his goons, or
None of those
Cousins?
people know who Kirk Cousins is. Stop. Not a single one of those players was on the team when he was there. I just don't trust this Washington pass defense whatsoever. The only thing I'm worried about here is them putting Kirk Cousins under pressure. But, I mean, I don't know. I kind of thought this should be 3.5, but that being said, it's down to 3. Market's telling me I'm an idiot, so I put this at the bottom, and I don't want anything to do with it.
I was going to say, it opened 3.5, and I still see some 3.5s out there, but Circa putting 3 in the contest makes me think that they're predicting enough money to come in and move this to the key number. And you said you don't trust this Washington pass defense. They just keep doing it. What's there not to trust? They keep generating pressure without the blitz. There's rumors that Chase Young might play this week, even if it's a spot start where he's getting some situational pass rush snaps. You know, who's going to hate on that monstrosity rushing the quarterback? This is another spot where I wanted to love the commies, but I just kept sliding them down little by little. They did make my top 5, but they were towards the bottom. Brett, looking very keenly, looking very coolly over there. That's because he loves the Commanders. They are also in his top 5.
Yeah, neither one of these teams has lost in like a month, it feels like. So typically...
The classic Brett wants to fade both teams.
Exactly.
I definitely do. I definitely do. I said that last week, though, and the Vikings keep playing just bum teams.
Yeah, they're frauds. I like the Hawkinson pickup a lot, but he's going to be eased into this offense and likely won't play much of a factor in this one.
I know what to get Brett for Christmas. Brett needs a Hookingson jersey.
He's good at football. I love Hawkinson. But yeah, like you said, Rich,
man.
The most interesting matchup here is in the trenches, where the Vikes have not been able to keep Cousins upright all season, and they face one of the league's best pass rushes here, and that's the cap for me. I will continue to back this Commanders team because of their defense, and I trust that Heineke can do enough without that backbreaker to put points on the board, and he just keeps doing it. So let's go, Commanders.
Taylor's already looking at a sick purple and gold Jordan colorway that he can snag after this game. The Lone Wolves. That's a cool tradition, by the way. Heineke may not agree with all of his beliefs, but that's pretty cool. Mo, he's got the Vikings. DP's got the Patriots. Brett's got a pair, Dolphins and Rams. And I've got rar, biting kneecaps, Detroit Motor City. Let's go Lions. Strap in, boys. It's time for the card.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Lot of chirping from Mo Nuwara. Must be because he's had back-to-back 4-1 weeks, and he leads us off once again this week. However, we will not be receiving his top pick because it was sniped by the collective. So we go to Mo's second selection, which is a consensus pick. One of 4 consensus picks this week. But I'm very, very, very worried about it. Mo.
Let me just say, this is a conditional pick.
Conditional pick?
It's a conditional pick.
Based on the injuries that might come for your third pick, I'm assuming?
Gotta be the Saints then, right?
No, this is if Malik Willis starts, you can't set the line high enough. The Chiefs are going to win by 30.
What happens to bad quarterbacks that go to Arrowhead, Mo?
Who isn't even... This is...
Oh, you got to say the line. This is Bart Simpson. Say the line.
Not even a bad quarterback. This might be below threshold quarterback, okay? In Arrowhead,
say the line, damn it!
Stop rambling. Like a cookie. Malik,
let him get to it.
He had 50 yards passing last week. There's no chance you can keep pace with the Chiefs like that. 0%. They're going to lose by 30. You can't set the line high enough if he plays. But if Ryan Tannehill plays a professional quarterback... Who cares if Ryan Tannehill
plays? He's playing on a bum ankle on his plant.
I don't know. He's still a pro. He's still solid.
High ankle sprain on his plant foot. I understand that they could put a horse trank in him before the game, but at some point that market is going to wear off, and you're playing on the road at Arrowhead with a bum ankle.
Against a team that's going to score 30. They're always going to score 30. If you threaten them, they might score 40, okay? The Titans have no chance with him taking snaps. No chance. It won't be a close game. This is going to have to be the all-time Illume. If this game's close, you're going to see the worst calls you see all year. I promise you that. because otherwise people are tuning out in the second quarter because it's 28-3.
Well, here's the... Oh, no, this is a primetime game. Oh, no. I'm officially worried. This was a no-brainer in my top 5, but rule of collective favorites, I put it as 5. My process was literally, I want to make this my top pick, but I'm putting it 5, and I'm allowing you guys to
Mo, do you know who the ref is?
No.
Cleat?
Yep.
Oh, he's ready to go in there and do Goodell's work.
You know it's Cleat, baby.
He's the one who called that personal foul on Chris Jones against Brady when he touched his shoulder in the playoffs.
Oh, no. Now I'm officially worried. All right, I need someone to cool me off. All right, I guess I'm up. I went 4-1 last week, and one of the most important rules. I'm worried, very worried about this game. But one of the most important rules that the collective prescribes to is you got to bet on the team that looked the worst last week.
That's not how you spell Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you were going to say the Saints, and then we're going against the Raiders because the Raiders scored exactly 0 points last week.
Nobody looked worse than Zach Wilson. Did you guys see one clip of Derek Carr on social media?
The Jets scored points. Oh, they actually scored. They got into the end zone.
But did you see one clip of the Raiders failing, Benny Hill music, laughing, pointing? Did you see one clip of the Raiders?
I saw what Derek Carr scored for my fantasy team, and let me tell you, it was low. It was as low as I've ever seen a quarterback score.
Devontae Adams at 3 yards receiving. I mean, it was brutal.
The entire nation, for an entire week, was pointing and laughing at the New York Jets. This line opens 13.
Which side does Brett have? That's all I want to know.
This is what I was worried about. Brett is 0-6-1 when selecting games, including his beloved. That's like, can I reach for it? Where is it? Nope, that's money bet line. We're not doing Jets money bet line.
Bills make me wanna
0-6-1 when selecting contests that include the Buffalo Bills. And he kind of, did you break your own rule here? What'd you do here? No, you kind of broke your own rule. You said when you picked the Bills, it's at the bottom. This was in the middle. So Brett getting real funky over there.
I kind of like the... Is there a path to the Jets winning this game?
Yes, that's
there is.
Crazy.
And this is what you talk about every week, Rich.
What are you
the
talking
Jets are
about?
always the widest range of outcomes because it starts with the Jets defense. This is an excellent unit.
The Jets should have beaten the Patriots by 20 points last week.
Like if
how can you say that they looked the worst if they should have won that game? You're literally not making sense, okay?
No, because
I'm pretty sure they were like a roughing the passer penalty away from actually winning that game. And you're saying that they looked worse than the Raiders, who scored 0 points.
They definitely didn't look worse than the Raiders.
To the public, though, the public took no perception from the Raiders. Maybe in Vegas, because that's where the Raiders play. But if you were to walk up to any average NFL fan that's watching tonight's game on Prime and said, who is the worst team in the league last week? They're going to tell you the Jets. 1,000%.
No way. Everyone is out on the Raiders, dude.
Trust me.
They suck every week.
But let's talk about this game. Who is playing defense for the Buffalo Bills?
Does it matter?
It might not matter.
You're the biggest Zach Wilson hater. It does. The four of us can fly to New York or wherever this game is and play defense against that guy.
This is the best defense the Bills have faced all season. Sauce on Diggs, is that a wash?
No,
but
it's as close to a wash as Diggs has seen all season.
It's as close as you're gonna get. The Jets are gonna be up for this game. Got their ass kicked, got embarrassed, division rival. This line is crazy. And the market is coming in on the Jets. This moved off 13. I could see this ticking closer to 10 before game time, and nobody is going to take the Jets in the contest.
This is
We're
one
not
of
going to get
those-
leverage because nobody's
No.
going to take the Bills. But
This is one of those things where I could see someone getting value betting Jets money line, but also betting alternate Bills infinity because it's Zach in negative script, and if he is in that negative game environment, it's going to blow up against his pass rush. So I think the Jets are the right side, but
This might go down as the worst pick of the year. I mean,
oh wow,
Wait, don't you have
You got
Jets?
you got your veto, pal. Yeah, this is a
me,
consensus.
I
pick.
have the Bills.
No, you
My
don't.
bottom pick. Yes, I do.
I have
Hashtag
No,
fix it.
I clicked the wrong thing. I have the Bills. But it's my one pointer, so is that going to even matter?
It's not going to matter because
Yeah.
I selected the Jets.
yeah, but I
Let's go to
selected
your
Jets,
pick.
so
Let's go to.
we might want to
so
veto
we're-
this one out.
So we're screwed. Let's go to the actual worst pick of the year. Donnie, with his lone wolf.
Go
Who's
ahead and
doing
fire
it?
your vetoes.
Is it you or me, Brett?
And Rich, not Mo.
I can't do anything about this, so
That's
you
right.
guys have your phone.
Bill
Mo's got his-
Belichick
Mo's
minus
got his
5.5.
hands tied.
In your eye, Sam Ellinger. Let's go.
Can I just say real quick? Can we just rewind a little bit? Okay, the Lions fumbled on the one, and the guy who I was like counting on helping them win the game went out in like the first quarter. Let's not be too harsh on me here. Okay?
Oh, you're going back to your veto.
yes,
That's
it wasn't that bad.
I was wondering where he was going there.
They fumbled.
I mean,
they
Brett,
fumbled
you've
on
got-
the one, and they had already scored. To be
Brett.
fair,
You have the Colts in your top 5,
I do.
but your second pick is a split pick.
I know that's the thing. I can't take my second pick. I could take my third pick.
Well, let's get to your top pick.
I mean,
Which is?
are you going to use your veto on mine?
No, I'm going to because two of you had this in your top 5.
this
I'm gonna
card is
respect
going to be a disaster.
it. It's already a disaster. Brett, what's your top pick?
I've got the Packers minus 3.5. Yeah, minus 3.5.
Okay. Before we get to the collective pick, there are 2 other consensus picks that did not make the card, both of them in DP's top 5. And the first one is the one that he referenced, was Ravens at Saints plus 2.5. And this is what I thought Mo was referring to as his basically pick, was that I thought he was going to take the Chiefs, but switch it out for the Saints if we get a clean report tomorrow. Because, once again, who the hell is playing for New Orleans? But something Allen. I told you guys in the regular season, this coaching staff was going to do it. There was enough continuity there. And Mo, this coaching staff's doing it.
They're doing it. They're running out bums every week on offense and scoring 30 points. I mean, what do you want from these guys? They're doing great work. I don't even know Rashid Salam, like you said.
Assalamu alaikum.
40 yards every week. I mean, whatever. They can just put anyone out there and they just get yards. It's fine. Andy Dalton is just, every week I check the box score and he had 7 yards per attempt and 2 touchdowns. Literally,
Taysom.
They just plug in Taysom at all the right times. He always has 60 yards rushing and maybe a touchdown. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. Okay.
And meanwhile, the Ravens, I should play the sound,
so
a little bit of respect. They're piling loads of draft equity for inside linebackers, and their WR1 is on IR. Seems not
to be
sharp.
fair, he's a good linebacker, but yeah. So I think when I was on the other show, on the lines.com
Hashtag the other show.
with Eli,
Do you know the name of the other show?
yeah, it's beat the closing line. So
There we go.
like I said, I had to go back and dig because I was like, man, the Ravens passing offense has sucked lately. I feel like it sucked just anecdotally watching it. So I went back and checked when Rashad Bateman got hurt. And dude, they've been like bottom 10 since he got hurt. I didn't know Rashad Bateman was so important. But like I said, I guess when your other receivers are this bad, he matters. And then Mark Andrews, if he plays, he's definitely not looking like 100%. I mean, the dude has 2 injuries. I think he has an injured shoulder and an injured knee. So
Didn't practice today.
this is not a good situation for this Ravens offense. I like Saints money bet line. Saints plus 2.5, Saints teaser, whatever you want to do, just bet the Saints. But this is the one where I was saying we might be better off contest play 2.5. I loved the Saints when I saw 3. I thought that line was completely bananas, but that's gone.
Donnie, this was your pick last week. They are back in your top 5. Excuse me. Riding New Orleans there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything Mo said. I guess the only thing that I would add is that, I mean, even if Mark Andrews goes, and Mo already mentioned him being banged up, without Bateman out there, that's just more emphasis that the defense can put on someone like Mark Andrews, who is very important in this passing offense because the Ravens have nothing. Well, now if no one has to cover Rashad Bateman out there, they can just put more emphasis on Andrews and make things more difficult for the Ravens offense, which I think all around, I mean, this line feels just incredibly disrespectful to the Saints. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, it just feels stupid.
Another home dog in your top 5. I wanted to do it too. Jags plus 1.5. Talk about it.
I guess I'm kind of scared of this one because I'm going against the team that looked the worst last week, in my opinion, and also, I guess, in Mo's opinion. But at some point, I have to believe that the yardage that the Jaguars are putting up every single week has to come home. Like, it just has to.
Has to matter.
And you couple that with the fact that the Raiders on defense are a dumpster fire, okay? And they can't score for the life of them. They can't do anything right. Like, this Raiders team, I don't know how this Raiders... Listen, I understand it's Jacksonville Jaguars, but how is this Raiders team laying points on the road? This Raiders team, they look horrible every week. Again, my only concern, and like I originally, this is the first game I went to, and I put it at the top of my card, and then I kind of, fudged it around after that, and I was like, it's scary because the Raiders looked the worst last week. But then I'm also like, well, the Jags kind of look the worst every week. Like, if you look at the box score, you see the yardage, but if you look at the scoreboard, you're like, they don't score any damn points because they never get in the end zone. Like,
yeah, because Lawrence is Carson Wentz.
Ooh.
He does the stupidest things in high leverage spots. It is unfathomable.
I mean, he does do a lot of stupid things.
Dude, his picks in the end zone the last couple weeks were as bad as you will see a player play in the end zone.
That completely changed the game last week.
At least he throws the ball into the end zone, unlike the other guy.
Dude, Carr is the worst. This is funny. This is the two polar opposites. The one guy who won't score touchdowns because he won't put the ball in the end zone, and the other guy who won't score touchdowns because he just gives it to the other team.
And my last thing on this game is I think the Jaguars defense is better than the Raiders defense. So like
Oh, well, yeah, it's hard. Rancho might be better than the Raiders defense.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. So like the Raiders offense hasn't been doing much this season, and they got to go against the better defense in this game. So yeah, I think the Raiders being road favorites here is just ridiculous.
So those were the consensus picks. Once again, Donnie in tune with the collective 2 consensus picks in his top 5. Here is the 5th and final pick from the collective machine.
The collective chooses the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Get excited, Brett. We get to sweat this
We're
live.
there
This
at the game.
That's the only reason you guys have this in the car.
It's not.
Come on.
It's not.
I get
Trust
it.
me,
I
it's
get
not.
it. I'm just being stubborn with the Bucs after what happened last week. I get it.
McVay the worst. Cooper Kupp ankle.
Something Ronnie Rivers taking handoffs.
Like, what if it may be Cam Akers?
People blasting fab on Ronnie Rivers. I saw that. This is the part of the season where teams that are like 3-5 in fantasy, they're just like go for it, and there's just $40 for Ronnie Rivers. I'm like,
40. It might be 140 in some leagues.
Man, oh man. So what are we doing? What are we doing with this?
So I just want to. My pick is the Saints if Tannehill starts.
Okay.
That's how I'm doing mine.
I mean, that's so annoying this week.
The injuries?
Well, the fact that I'm not going to be here.
Oh,
I just don't like going through a proxy when I just have less confidence in it.
Well, you weren't there last week either, were you?
I know, but I had my proxy set up last week for sure. I mean, I can get the proxy this week, of course, but it's just.
It's gonna be great when we're sweating.
When are you?
We're sweating the Bucks, and then we find out that our card never went.
When does your flight take off tomorrow?
10:30 a.m.
Ooh.
I think
Better fire
Josh
up
might
that
be
proxy.
in town. We can trust him.
Well, no, you have to do this before the season.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean,
Well, yeah.
I do it legally.
I was gonna say, yeah. There's definitely chicanery going on.
I mean, listen,
yes.
honestly, my thing is I'm more nervous about laying 12.5 or whatever the hell this Chiefs line is versus the Saints that I think is just a ridiculously disrespectful line.
Especially now that we know that Cleat is officiating.
Cleat moves markets, boys.
Well, I also like the Saints, so I could veto Donnie's pick out for the Saints as well.
And we could just lock it in.
I could just veto Mo's pick out for the Saints too.
Well,
For
so you
free.
would-
For free.
Yeah, I have a free veto.
my mind
I mean,
just
it's not even that
exploded.
bad because Mo where's
But
the
you
Saints?
picked
Do you have
the
Saints
Chiefs.
number 2?
I have Saints third. That's what I'm saying. Saints
third.
are my pick. Chiefs is conditional on Malik Willis being a mile below the threshold. I wish the man good luck. It's not going to go well.
I mean, we could just make this clean and tidy. Don't have to worry about a proxy by vetoing in Saints instead of Patriots. It, I'm doing it. Mark it. Donnie's gonna have all the free vetoes.
And then Mo's fine with the Chiefs even if Tannehill goes?
Not really, but I guess we can be.
Yeah, then what? I mean,
Yeah. What?
Well, Rich
Is it that
he's going to
contingent?
be bum ankle. He can't move anyway, so I guess whatever.
Yeah. This is
Cleat is
either
going to be doing work. And if he's got a professional quarterback behind him, we shouldn't underestimate him. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if he can help Malik Willis, dude. I don't know if he has enough pull to push Malik Willis across the finish line. In fact, I'm confident he doesn't. I don't know if
You don't think?
I don't know if having a 12th man on the field would get Malik Willis across the finish line.
Oh man, the card as it stands: Bucks -3, Packers -3.5. Not a great start. Chiefs minus how much? 12.5.
all the GOAT
Not liking
quarterbacks.
that.
ODB loves this card.
ODB is so proud of us right now.
Saints +2.5, and rounding it out with Jets +12.5. There you go, right in your eye. Zach Wilson in your eye. ODB.
This card is dumb, but I'm excited to sweat it with you guys.
Oh man. Absolutely love it. All right. Follow these guys on Twitter at Brett Colson, COLLSON, at Donnie_Peters, and at Mo Nuwara, NUWWARAH. I'm at Rich T. Ryan. We're going to do some sort of live recap pod on Sunday night. Bring your mics, guys. This is your official announcement. Join the Discord. You'll watch it live there. Patreon.com/Gridiron Gamble. Till then. Peace.